Hello and welcome. This is Africa in 10 minutes, where we bring to you the top business news in Africa, courtesy Footprint to Africa. I'm Shamoka J. Uwadoka, and in the news, Footprint to Africa launches her flagship event, the Nigeria SME Connect. Tricia Martinez, founder of Wala, explains why Africa is a pioneer market. Additional to set up fund for young farmers with $250,000 World Food Prize money. And now the news in detail. Footprint to Africa, a leading Pan-African investment bridge, has announced the launch of the Nigeria SME Connect, her flagship event organized in partnership with the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, SMIDEN, a government agency established to promote and facilitate the development of the MSME subsector of the Nigerian economy. The Nigeria SME Connect series seeks to connect small and medium-scale business owners with viable partners to enable them further their business goals, increase their market access, form joint ventures, expand their businesses, and ultimately grow the Nigerian economy. Diko Umar, Director General SMIDEN, reiterated the role of MSMEs as the engine of economic growth, saying the partnership with Footprint to Africa was apt as it was in line with President Buhari's desire to diversify the economy away from oil. An official statement released by the organizers, Footprint to Africa, stated that the maiden event-themed collaboration and access to foreign market will focus on the agricultural subsector of processing and packaging. Speaking to members of the press at the unveiling event, Elakeche Abutu, project coordinator of the event, said, "This event focuses on the difference between recording painful losses after harvest and preserving bountiful harvest, increasing revenue for producers and exporting this produce to increase market access and generate even more revenue for them. It is not enough to plant and harvest. Consider how we can mitigate post-harvest losses. Consider how we can process the produce we harvest to sell. Consider also how we can penetrate neighboring markets and international markets. These are the issues this event would address." The event is organized with the aim of empowering SMEs with adequate and requisite knowledge to enable them process and package their products adequately for export. The event will also educate and provide attendees with tools to enable them facilitate the export of their products. During the press conference unveiling this year's theme, Osita Oparugo, Managing Director of Footprint to Africa, said, "The theme of this year's forum was conceived to mitigate the effects of our current economic predicaments in the country. We believe that the time has come to look inwards and empower the SMEs to help revive this economy. We believe this forum can empower SMEs to expand their businesses beyond the shores of Nigeria by creating the right access channels to Europe and North America." Nigeria SME Connect collaboration and access to foreign markets is set to take place at the Landmark Event Center, Victoria Island, Lagos on the 23rd of November 2017. The event will consist of panel discussions, breakout sessions, and product exhibition. Still in event news, the Agribusiness Congress East Africa is set to attract regional agri-professionals. Mr. Chris Kaijuka, chairman of the Grain Council of Uganda, the TGCU, and featured speaker at the upcoming Agribusiness Congress East Africa, said, "My vision for the agri-sector is a national grain sector that supplies the region and is the preferred source of high-quality grain. There are opportunities in agriculture with our 2 seasons and a fast-growing population, highest in the world, at 3% per annum." The Agribusiness Congress East Africa will this year feature more than 45 exhibitors, free trading workshops and agronomy consultations, roundtable discussions, as well as live demonstrations and crop trials. Leading farming equipment supplier John Deere and Mascor are platinum sponsors at the Agribusiness Congress East Africa, while Case, Engsol, TAFE and Toyota are gold sponsors. The Agribusiness Congress East Africa is organized by Spintelligent, a well-known trade conference and expo organizer on the continent, with particular expertise and experience in energy, infrastructure development and agricultural events. Moving now to West Africa, Nigeria is looking to spend 15 billion naira over the next year to explore for minerals and attract investors into mining as it seeks to reduce its reliance on oil, Solid Minerals Development Minister Kayode Fayomi has said. The move is part of the government's plans to support investments in the exploration of its priority minerals, including gold, bitumen, iron, barytes, limestone, lead and zinc, which is expected to rake in around 60 billion naira of private investment into mining, he said. The contribution of solid minerals to the GDP is expected to increase to more than 8% by 2020 from less than 1% a year, according to the government. To further encourage investors, incentives including tax holidays for as much as 5 years for new companies entering the duty-free import of mining equipment and mining licenses for 25 years has been put in place, the minister said. Additional support for the industry is expected through a $600 million bond to be sold at the end of the year to raise more funds to provide required infrastructure and help accumulate data on minerals, according to Hajia Fatima Shinkafi, Executive Secretary of the Solid Minerals Development Fund. Nigeria has at least 44 minerals that can be extracted in commercial quantities according to the Solid Minerals Ministry. Mining in the country is currently dominated by artisans who produce gold, tin and others in small amounts. In an exclusive interview with Footprint to Africa, founder and CEO of Wala, Tricia Martinez, said Africa stood as the natural starting point despite the fact that there are also unbanked consumers in Latin America and Asia. She also said that while use of traditional banking and finance services are low in Africa, mobile money has really taken hold, and that shows that there's an appetite for solutions built around consumers. Wala is a blockchain-powered mobile financial services platform working to solve financial exclusion affecting 3.5 billion consumers. The Wala Financial Platform provides zero-fee access to transactional banking, remittances, loans and insurance. The company also aims to roll out the platform globally afterwards. In investment news, global beverage producer Coca-Cola has invested $26 million towards developing a new production line that will manufacture new brands alongside its mainstay soda, juice and water products. The new production line is located in Embakasi, Kenya and is currently being used to manufacture a range of Minute Maid juices. According to a report by Business Daily Africa, the plant will be open next year. Coca-Cola Central, East and West Africa Limited, a local subsidiary of the giant soft drinks manufacturer, produces soda, including Coca-Cola, Fanta, Crest and Sprite. It also produces bottled water brands Dasani and Keringet, as well as the famous Minute Maid juice. And finally this week, Akinwumi Adesina, president of the African Development Bank and 2017 World Food Prize laureate, in line with his avowed commitment to a new deal for youth empowerment, has pledged to devote the $250,000 prize money to a fund in support of young African farmers and agripreneurs. He said, "We will arise and feed Africa. The day is coming very soon when all its children will be well fed, when millions of smallholder farmers will be able to send their kids to school." The president of the World Food Prize Foundation, Ambassador Kenneth Quinn, paid tribute to Adesina, whose breakthrough achievements have impacted millions of farmers and those living in rural poverty in Nigeria and throughout Africa, and whose leadership holds great promise for uplifting millions and millions more across that continent. Under President Adesina's leadership, the African Development Bank is accelerating agricultural development through its Feed Africa strategy, with planned investment of $24 billion over the next 10 years. The World Food Prize also recognizes Adesina's work over the past 2 decades with the Rockefeller Foundation at the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa and as Nigeria's Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development. That wraps up the news of the week. Please stay tuned for a recap of the stories. Footprint to Africa launches her flagship event, the Nigeria SME Connect. The Agribusiness Congress East Africa explores East Africa's agri potential. Nigeria to invest $42 million in developing mineral sector as it seeks to woo investors. Tricia Martinez, founder of Wala, explains why Africa is a pioneer market. In Kenya, Coca-Cola to invest $26 million in diversifying product range. Adesina to set up fund for young farmers with $250,000 World Food Prize money. To keep up with the trending business news, stay connected. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and connect with us on LinkedIn. These news and reports are called from Footprint to Africa. For daily updates and more business news, please visit www.footprinttoafrica.com today. Footprint to Africa, business news made in Africa by Africa.